From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Monday, January the 27th, 2025. We open, of course, with the release Saturday of the 4 Israeli hostages from captivity in Gaza: Naama Levi, Karina Ariev, Daniela Gilboa, and Liri Albag. All 4 were brutally abducted when Hamas terrorists stormed the IDF's Nahal Oz surveillance base on October the 7th. The 4 young women were handed over by terror group Hamas to the Red Cross Saturday morning in Gaza and then handed over to IDF forces, taken back into Israel, and ultimately back into the arms of their mothers and fathers for a long-awaited embrace and family reunion. The release of the female soldiers ahead of female civilians still held in Gaza was in breach of Hamas's agreement with Israel. And the Prime Minister's office said last night that following the conducting of vigorous and determined negotiations led by Prime Minister Netanyahu, Hamas did agree to carry out an additional phase of releasing hostages this Thursday, saying in this phase the civilian Arbel Yehud and the soldier Agam Berger and an additional hostage will be released. In accordance with the agreement, 3 additional hostages will be released this Saturday. Agam Berger was also abducted from the Nahal Oz base together with the 4 hostages who were released this past Saturday. The Prime Minister's office also said that Israel has received from Hamas a list that includes the status of all of the hostages due to be released in the first stage, meaning which of the hostages in the first stage release are said to be living and which are said to be deceased. The IDF continues its counter-terror operation in Judea and Samaria, the West Bank, today. The IDF cited a team commander in the area who said yesterday the whole purpose of it, referring to the mission, is basically to destroy terrorist infrastructures and eradicate terrorism in the Jenin refugee camp in order to protect the residents of the State of Israel. The IDF also shared that today it took out a Hamas terrorist in Tulkarem who served as the head of the terror group there. Well, today is International Holocaust Remembrance Day, commemorating the 80th anniversary of the liberation of the Auschwitz-Birkenau death camp on January the 27th of 1945. World leaders, including 50 official representatives from more than 50 countries around the globe, joined Holocaust survivors at the ceremony in Poland today with speeches from Jewish leaders, including World Jewish Congress President Ambassador Ronald Lauder, who stressed that the virulent anti-Semitism that led to the Holocaust is still rampant around the globe today, noting in particular the Hamas massacre of October the 7th.
In a very fundamental way, what happened in Israel on October 7th and what happened here at Auschwitz have one common thread: the age-old hatred of Jews.
Lauder said what happened in the Shoah was fed by the indifference of people who thought they were not affected by anti-Semitism because they were not Jewish. Lauder saying it was the world's silence that led to Auschwitz. Israel's President Isaac Herzog delivered a speech at the United Nations General Assembly to mark the somber anniversary today, where he noted the eruption of anti-Semitism following the October 7th massacre and the lack of action on the part of the UN and other bodies in the face of anti-Semitism that allow it to flourish.
This is an urgent wake-up call to all humanity. Anti-Semitism, savagery, cruelty, and racism are still thriving on our planet. They are thriving because far too many states represented here do not confront them, do not unanimously condemn them, do not fight against them. On this historic day, we must commit to joining hands to defeat darkness and hatred and work together to ensure building of a shared future. This is the vow we must share, all of us, the family of nations, that what happened once will never happen again.
Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Monday, January the 27th at 7 o'clock, FIDF CEO Steve Weil speaks with Aviva Siegel, a freed Israeli hostage who is still waiting for the release of her husband, Keith, who is still being held by Hamas in Gaza. At 7:30, I speak with Chairman of Yad Vashem Dani Dayan about Holocaust education and preservation. At 8 o'clock, Abigail Pogrebin is joined by renowned Jewish music leaders Jeff Klepper and Dan Freelander. At 9, Jake Ehrenreich is on L'chaim. At 10, I speak with Helen Cha-Pyo and others who are involved in the Violins of Hope project, where restored Holocaust-era instruments now serve as powerful symbols of resilience and remembrance. At 10:30, it's an encore of the news, and coming up next, it's Good Week, Israel. And that's the JBS News Update for Monday, January the 27th, 2025. I'm Teisha Bader. Am Yisrael Chai.